Greetings, friends. Real quick before we get into this episode is going to be split up into a couple of halves, purely for the sake of time. I've noticed a certain fact or certain trend with the engagement level of these episodes, and while I was editing, I realized we went way over time. So this is going to be part one. Part two is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. We've got a couple of different guests coming in, literally in about half an hour from right now. So this is going to be part one. Look forward to part two. And ride bikes, be merry, and chat soon.
Do we all do this?
Yeah. That's the one that starts at the same.
I want the Bev.
Cheers, friends.
Cheers.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Clink of cans. never really works. But anyway, hello, friends. Welcome to another episodic installment of Prime Ratio. This week I'm joined by a couple of new faces. Can I say recent listeners? You guys listen to podcasts?
Shouldn't you say new voices?
New voices. New faces for me. New voices for them.
Yes.
Something like that. But in any case, I am host Felix. I'm joined by guests Ramsay and Thom. Welcome in.
Thank you.
I don't know how we're going to do this order-wise, but let people know who you are, what you do. Ramsay, we'll start with you.
Okay. I'm
I'm Ramsay. I like long walks on. No.
I do actually.
That's fair. Who doesn't? Long walks on the beach, on the riverside.
On the anything really.
I'm more of a riverside.
Yeah. You won't catch me running, but I do like walks.
Unless you're being chased. Then you probably maybe jog.
That's true.
Saunter.
That's true.
I
Depending on who's chasing me, I could just turn around and give them the old hard stare. No, sorry. I'm Ramsay. I don't actually give people hard stares in public. I have a professional background in paramedicine and currently working as a patient transport... actually, I'm working as an ambulance transport attendant, which is non-emerge.
That's a cool job title.
It is a cool job title for something which is basically just taxi driver for people going to and from hospitals.
Valid.
Yeah, but it's necessary and keeps the skills sharp.
Yeah, exactly.
And been doing medic work as well. So basically fulfilling insurance and being standby at events. Filling in all the gaps.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Ramsay's our in-house medic. If anyone has a crash or something similar, we usually consult him if he's available.
Yep. I told Soph to go to hospital when she had a whoopsie with her ankle.
Yes.
And she eventually listened to Felix after not listening to me.
2 weeks later, yeah. She was like, hey, this isn't getting any better. I was like, you should maybe listen to Ramsay originally.
Love you, Soph. Hope you're having a great time in NZ.
Yeah, she seems to be.
Do I need to talk about cycling stuff?
I was going to say, how long have you been riding, I would say riding fixed? Or riding in general and then riding fixed if it's at different times?
Riding fixed, not that long. I finally bit the bullet and got one in... I've got to do some maths now. I want to say winter of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe like mid-year.
Yeah. And it happened after I was involved in a crash with my old road bike, which I loved dearly. It was an old steel frame, Campagnolo branded, so could have been anything.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who fucking knows?
Something Italian.
Something Italian or something
built for an Italian.
Yeah. And I got T-boned by a car on that, going through the intersection of Albion and Sydney Road.
Damn.
At like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I may have been sprinting to make a red light, but I the driver may also have been running the red light. I legitimately don't remember because of all the adrenaline.
Speculation.
Anyway, they dropped me off at home. I didn't pursue it, even though I should have. And then...
As in like pursue, police matters and reports?
Yeah,
okay.
do the whole
thing.
Shebang.
Yeah.
Because I was just a bit shaken. Probably should have because of insurance and all that. But I ended up getting myself a big block from St. Cloud.
Yeah, an all-city big block.
An all-city big block.
St. Cloud used to be the distributor.
Yeah, well, it used to be,
They used to be a thing, sadly.
RIP All-City.
That's it.
Turns out that no matter how good products are, if they don't make money, they don't stick around.
If they don't sell, they don't stay. Yeah.
Yep. I'm taking care of mine, and it has now been almost fully upgraded. I think the only parts left that are not stock are the headset and the cog.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, the cogs are pretty solid.
I like it. Yeah.
I've used them before, and they don't skip a beat.
And it came with a 17, which is such a good cog.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with 17.
No.
That's it. It does give you that namesake prime ratio, you know.
True.
But,
True. Not the name drop.
And
in terms of riding in general, pretty much started. I've pretty much been one of those commuters who just
rides for the sake of getting somewhere.
Has always ridden for the sake of getting somewhere, and then gradually learned to love the bike outside of getting from A to B. I think I picked up an old Roadmaster that was in my grandfather's, under my grandfather's old Queenslander when he passed. I think it belonged to one of my uncles.
Right.
It was too big for me, and it was creaky, and it had those brakes on it that have the little levers that come around and follow the angle of the drop bars.
Yep.
So that when your hands are in the tops position, you can reach.
You can still pull the brake.
Yeah, you can still pull the brakes. In hindsight, absolutely unnecessary, and they had no leverage.
Yep.
So you could barely stop with them.
Yep. I know those very well.
Yeah. And then before that, I grew up on probably like just under 40 acres out in the granite belt in Queensland. So lots of like granite boulders everywhere, and I used to just ride my bikes through the forest over sticks and rocks and shit.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So that pretty much sums all that up.
Sums up the cycling experience.
Yeah, but just like most of us, I've pretty much been on two wheels since not long after I was able to be on two legs.
Since you got off the 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. Easy. And Tom, what about you?
I'm Tom.
What's your name? Tell us about yourself. No.
I'm Tom, and I ride cool bikes.
Very nice.
I don't have much else to say.
That they do.
That they do indeed. You've been mainly riding BMX, so far as I understand, right?
Yeah, I've been riding BMX for a couple of years before fixed gear. It was I started riding BMX in 2021, and I didn't start properly riding until about 2022, and a couple of years of doing that, and then I just eventually caught up to riding fixed gear.
It's a pretty natural progression. I find from BMX to fixed gear, like Rob Gaines, 80 proof.
Yeah, Ryan as well. He used to ride BMX.
Ryan as well. Yeah, they both went from BMX to fixed gear. Taken in very different directions. It is what it is.
So I guess it's inevitable that it caught up to me because my dad's a retired trackie. And he used to ride like old steel track bikes and stuff.
So you're born into it.
Basically.
It's in the bloodline.
Yeah. It's like once I hit a certain age, I was like bound to start doing it.
It's your birthright.
Yeah. When I got the bike I'm on right now is my Chilo track, which was my first bike. I showed interest in.
It's a very cool bike.
It is a very cool bike. It's one that I saw, I think, a good while before I met you. You posted it up. I think when you got new pedals, you posted up a photo in the Fixed Gear Melbourne group.
Yes, that was when I got the bullhorns, which was a absolutely ridiculous setup.
Something like that. You posted up, and I was like, "That's a cool bike. I wonder if I'll see that in person."
Foreshadowing.
Exactly. Here we are. But But no, I would say, yeah, you both came into the Melbourne fixed gear scene similar-ish times. I mean, not quite the same time. Tom, you came in the last 12 months? Am I right in assuming that? Yeah.
My first Monday night ride, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was the one where we ended up at the Leadbetter.
Yeah, true. Leadbetter.
Yeah.
That was King's birthday last year.
Yeah.
Because we went to Leadbeater's because they were the only place
holiday.
open. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only place open. They were running their happy hour all night, and so we managed to hang out and get some food. It was one of the times that I think Scott was still on his like liquid diet clinical trial.
I remember him talking to me about that.
Yeah, and that was It was a pretty mid place, like decent beer, decent prices.
Yeah.
Why does liquid diet sound like a euphemism?
I mean, depending on who you talk to, it is, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my first Monday night ride. We went there. I'm pretty sure it was because the Collingwood Children's Farm Trail was closed.
Collingwood Children's Farm, the trail was closed. We tried to go through, and I think I didn't know for sure whether it would be open. The trail that goes under the bridge, and sure enough, it wasn't. I just hadn't been down there for a while, so went and checked. And Ramsay, you've been coming similar amount of time, a little longer.
Yeah, so not long after I got the big block, I sat on joining the community for a while because I knew of its existence before I got the big block. And honestly, the only reason I sat on it for a while was just because I kept forgetting.
Yeah.
I've always been a solo rider primarily. I'll just spur of the moment decide, all right, I want to go for a ride, and then I'm off.
Then you're off, yeah.
So the idea of hanging out with the group was a bit new to me.
Yeah.
I think it was probably October or November 2023.
Yeah, okay. So,
It was a tourist loop, that's what I remember. The first ride was a tourist loop.
Tourist loop?
With an Albert Park loop.
I think that was because you were there. I don't know if I was running them at that point.
I think there were a few other
newcomers. We usually do a tourist loop or a variation of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, cool.
No, that was fun.
Yeah. It always makes me feel old when I hear people's like origin stories. And I'm just like, I was still in the middle of my time, but that's okay.
Yeah, because I only started riding I got my bike in March 2024 last year.
Yep.
And it was a couple of months. I didn't do anything with the community for a while because what was it? It was my uni classes. My Monday uni classes went all the way to like 7:30 or something, so I never got the chance to tag along for a Monday night ride.
Yeah, those that do study or are involved in further education usually show up to rides like in the uni breaks and the holidays and stuff.
Yeah, that's when uni break is when I showed up to my first Monday night ride, which was sometime in the middle of winter, and only like 5 people were there.
It was the winter rides are one of those things where like you just gotta.
That's a controversial topic.
There's gotta be something happening there.
Yeah, I'm one of the people who always comes out to the rides. I don't care if it's winter.
That's it.
No, you do.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be consistent, otherwise there's nothing to come back to in the nicer weather.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
True.
But no, I think that's adequate introductions. I think
we'll start the introductions. Whoops.
It's all good. It's all good.
I guess I can talk about the rest of my.
I'm keeping track. I've got my notes here.
I guess I can talk about the rest of my experience later. I don't have to. I don't have to fill up the whole time with the introduction.
We will get to it. But now we'll cover a few things that that have happened since the last episode came out. Which, so far as I know, there's only been there's been 3. 3 things. We had a friend of the community, Dirt Drop Robbie, came by. They are currently on their way to Sydney. They've been riding around the world, setting a Guinness World Record for being the first transgender person to ride around the world. They started in Vancouver, and they've worked their way all the way around through America and Canada, across across Europe and some parts of Asia, and then riding through Australia. Their next destination is Sydney, and from there they fly to the South Island of New Zealand and aim to finish up in Auckland, hopefully before a calendar year is up, which is crazy. But yeah, they came around and we had a barbecue at Alex's place. I think we both were there.
That was
Yeah,
it
that was
nice,
really
nice barbecue.
nice.
Yeah, and Robbie had brought a bunch of dumpster dived bread, which
Was
is
actually pretty good.
which is
had
actually pretty good. Like
we had an ungodly amount of bread.
oh, there was so much bread, and they'd even accounted for people saying, do you want like keep some for yourself? They kept some already. They hadn't brought all of it. But like looking at their like dumpster dive scores like throughout their trip is like nuts. Like they came around to the shop I think earlier that week, and they brought some like tarts and like sweet treats from a Baker's Delight bin, because they at the end of the day they bag up all the bread that doesn't sell and either bin it or they donate it, and so they went through and scored a bunch of nice scones and stuff, which was very nice.
Very cool.
But yeah, so that was good. Yeah.
On a quick side note, there's an app that you can use called Too Good To Go that tries to hook up buyers for that stuff.
It advertises like end of business
End of-
day,
yes.
perishables that
Yes.
will otherwise go to waste.
And you'll get businesses anywhere from Baker's Delight to sushi places to all sorts that you
I
basically
always-
get 33%, I think.
I always forget to remember that. I'm going to write it
Yeah.
down right now.
So
Remind
like,
me of what the app is called, because I'm writing down
Too
in my
Good To
notes
Go.
right now.
Too good to go. Is that what
it's
is
not
it?
free. Like
No,
dumpster
no,
diving.
still-
Dumpster
Yeah.
diving is obviously free, but if you don't feel like committing
Don't feel like doing that, yeah.
minor crimes, like it shouldn't be a crime.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Then you say, for example, you get like $30 worth of stuff, but you'll pay $10.
That's it. Yeah, it's a good way to go.
Yeah, it's a good way to go.
I used to.
I'm not saying people shouldn't dumpster dive because
No.
food waste is real and it's a shitty problem. But
That's it.
yeah,
100%.
No, I used to go around to this bakery down the road from Velocycles when I worked there,
nice.
and I used to go there and they'd like give me or like the people at Velocycles like all of the like bread and pies and sweet treats and
Sweet.
stuff that they didn't sell,
Yep.
and we'd go through it and stuff like that.
Yep. Anyway,
No.
sorry, I derailed the conversation.
That is
about
entirely
Delta.
fine.
Robbie, sorry,
Mate,
Robbie.
I feel
I
like
don't-
that was an important conversation, though.
I don't.
Yeah.
Fuck food waste.
I don't have.
100%.
I don't have rails on this podcast, so we're all good.
Food gets wasted when it's not used for profit, and it's absolutely disgusting.
That's it. Beyond that, we had Max's Alleycat, analog Alleycat.
Yeah, which
Um,
I
that
checkpointed
was amazing.
in.
Which
That was
yeah,
my
You
first,
were
that was my
checkpointing.
first, that was my first time checkpointing.
Yeah, Ramsay raced. I filmed.
Yep.
I chased Ed. That edit is, if all goes well, going to come out tomorrow.
I'm excited to see that. That's gonna be funny.
And yeah, Tom was at one of the checkpoints.
Yeah,
Um,
I was
Line of
at-
remembrance.
Yes.
Shrine of Remembrance at the base of the ramp. Yeah, what do you think?
It was fun. Yeah, I think Leo came to my checkpoint first, which is checks out.
Yep.
Yeah. Leo's a fast guy.
Winner.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo works as a courier, so he's definitely speedy. He's got the street knowledge down pat, I think.
Yeah, he was the first one to my checkpoint, and then I didn't see anyone else for about 20 minutes.
And then a bunch of people come through. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'd stayed there for a bit longer because I was missing Ed and Ruben.
Yeah.
Because I
Ruben
counted.
missed that one.
Yeah, I
Ruben
counted.
missed that one.
I counted 17 riders.
Yeah, Ruben missed that one, and Ed got flat. Got 2 flats, I think.
He did.
Yeah, and
Didn't fix them. I fixed mine.
didn't fix them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think on Nick's video that he posted up on Instagram, there's a clip of you fixing your puncture.
That was you were at the top of my checkpoint.
Which
You were
is
at the
great.
top of the shrine of
Yes,
remembrance.
actually,
yeah.
you know why I got that puncture was because I found myself going up. Is it Kingsford Smith Drive? The one that goes up to the north of the shrine of
Up,
the
around.
north end.
It goes up around the back. Like
Yeah,
through the,
and then I realised that I needed to head further down, and
Yep.
by that point I'd already passed where Thom was.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a very aggressive hop up the bluestone curb and then through the grass to get to the big concrete area
Yeah.
and the steps that lead up.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I'd got up the steps and then I got back on my bike,
Yeah.
the pinch flat had made itself known.
Shit.
So if
That's
I'd
all right.
routed better, I wouldn't have even needed to jump that
That's
curb.
it.
But you know,
That's all right.
should have, would have, could have.
It's all part of the fun.
It's all part of the fun, exactly. I'm just happy that I was able to participate because that was a really fun and engaging format for an Alleycat.
It was good. Max is doing real well with running these events. His first one was great.
Yes.
And his second, this analog Alleycat, is, I think, probably so far one of the best of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because there haven't been that many. But yeah, it's definitely good to see these new ideas come up and actually have it work and have the old school format as well of checkpointers.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
stuff.
That was like
Yes.
the no phones manifest with the checkpointers. That's like
I know that's.
it was very cool.
It's old
Yeah,
school.
it was
Even
very
even though
cool.
I didn't race, I love the idea of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it threw a couple of people, some people who weren't familiar with the city,
It did, yes.
but then also some people who didn't realise that the list of checkpoints was on the back, so they were trying to
That
decipher
was-
the exact location based off of
Based off of like
a very large
a
area.
marker and a number on, would cover like 3 blocks.
Yeah,
So,
on a very faded printout of the
Yeah.
Google Maps,
exactly.
being like,
Yeah, that was-
what big well-known landmark is within that circle?
Yeah, I was following Ed, and he, it was painful to watch. So I just advised him. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna save you a lot of trouble.
PTO.
Turn over your sheet. He was like, shit.
Please tell me you got that on camera.
I don't know if the audio came through, but I don't use the audio for my videos anyway. So, but no, and then
Always got to check both sides.
yeah, exactly. And then very, very recently, we've got no feedback about this. We had the, I think, 3rd iteration of Chase the Sun, which has
happened just finishing up today.
which has literally wrapped up, within a couple of hours now. To timestamp this is going to come out tomorrow. Recording this on Saturday, it's coming out on Sunday, which I think is the closest we've gotten to recording and posting. We've previously been very vague about the time frames of when stuff comes out.
I'm very disappointed to have not been able to make this year's Chase the Sun.
Yeah, you're working, right?
Yeah, I had a shift annoyingly from 10:15 to 2:15. So not even
Exactly.
something that I could have,
Couldn't have worked around it. Yeah.
Just middle of the day, go fuck yourself. But money's money.
Yeah, for sure.
And I did last year's, and last year's was fantastic.
I did see that Ryan made it for this one. There was a bit of uncertainty as to whether or not he was going to make it, because we haven't seen Ryan in a while.
He did make it.
Yeah, I saw an Instagram photo or a
good.
story from Ed saying showing Ryan and a few others. So
It's-
we might try and get someone who was on that ride on in the coming weeks.
Yep. I think having longer format rides in the fixed gear community is a good idea.
It's something that breaks it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It allows people who want to test themselves in one way or another,
And push boundaries.
to do that, and they can do it however they want. They can ride whatever they want. There was mainly fixed gears on this ride, but Ryan, I think, was riding his Cervelo, which I'm not sure how that's set up right now. But and then Carter came through on his roadie, and I think the majority of others were on fixed, but it was good. That's been about it. It's been a pretty busy sort of week and a half, I think, in terms of events. And we've got. I realised this is probably like the prime time to run events, run Alleycats. Is this sort of moment between like the tail end of summer and throughout autumn and winter. Because the weather's starting to get a little cooler. You're starting to justify wearing some long sleeves. I think riding at like sunset, wearing like a lightweight hoodie and shorts is the best.
Oh, I take
Also-
it.
It's just
If the colder weather comes, all you people who are wearing long pants, don't forget to roll up your pants.
Oh,
if
I
you-
remember a certain
It's true.
incident with your
Oh my
pants
god.
on a Monday night ride. I think it
That's
was
true.
happening in the circle track around the grass meadow in Royal Park.
Yes, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I forgot to roll up the cuff of my Dickies and they ripped clean off.
got
Your
caught.
chainring got a bit hungry.
Yeah. Damn. They'll get you. I mean, hey, back in the day when I was riding to school, I did that exact same thing. Every pair of like long trousers that I had in my uniform, the right leg was always like at least 1.5 centimeters shorter than the left. But it was fun. Yeah, no, it was definitely an eventful couple of weeks. And I don't think there's anything happening until Ride and Dirty. Ride and
yeah,
Dirty
that's on the
number,
horizon.
number 4. That is happening on Saturday, April 13th.
Now
I believe.
is that fixed only, brakeless only?
Fixed brakeless only,
Very
which will be sick. It's the first Alleycat I ever did was Ride and Dirty,
Woo.
and it's a fun one. It's tough. It's long distances.
Long
It's-
distances even.
The last one that happened a couple of years ago, it's not consistent. It's, it's like four iterations have happened in the span of the last probably 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the last iteration was I think about 65k.
That's a good distance.
Total distance.
Yeah, that's
And it was like peak summer. It was about 35 degrees. Yeah, it was rough. I filmed it, and I'll link the video because I made 2 parts in the description. But yeah, I chased Yoga and he got 3rd, so it was.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it was rough. Damn near killed me, but well worth it.
the only person I know who does well in hot weather is Patches.
Patches, yeah, I think Patches
Yeah, that
got
checks.
Patches got I think 1st or 2nd.
Yeah.
I forget, but
He must carry air conditioning units in his Blundstones.
exactly.
He just like
They're just
he's-
full of ice, you know.
he just shines in that weather for some reason.
He does.
Oh.
He does.
I was talking to him about it. He's like over 33 degrees. That's like
He's-
that's peak Patches performance right there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just something like you can push really, really hard, and you're gonna get sweaty anyway. But like why let that get in the way of anything?
Yeah. If there's an Alleycat happening on a hot day and Patches is racing, just be careful.
Exactly. Just accept that he's gonna be a heavy.
He's an absolute weapon.
He's an absolute weapon at the best of times.
Yeah, for sure. He was surprised. I think Max's first Alleycat, the tail end of it, I managed to catch up to Patches.
Oof.
And he said when we got in, he was like, I was surprised you were still there.
The disrespect.
It wasn't really just disrespect. It was more like he was impressed. I was like, hey, look, I'm just hanging out. I'm the camera guy. I gotta capture everything.
The man knows how fast he is.
Yeah, he's very very well aware of his capabilities and always undersells them. He's always like, I'm a little rusty and it's been a while and my bike's broken and all that sort of stuff.
And then he'll take off his baggy jeans and his flannel and
Just
he's got
strip
a
down,
full kit underneath.
full kitted out. A riding representative of Cycles Galleria cycling kit.
Oh yes.
That's RIP again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
And then other Alleycats. I know that Alex is planning one. I know that's likely to happen. He wants it to happen at the end of the month. So it may be the week after Ride and Dirty. It may be early May. So who knows? But he is determined to make that one as annoying as possible. He said.
Annoying how?
I've heard some details, and it's bad. It's not.
This is for Ryan
Hope-
Dirty.
No, this is for Alex's Alleycat, which
Okay.
will hopefully... Ride and Dirty, by the way, is run by Charlie of 3065 Dirtbags fame. And yeah, he's been a staple in the community for almost as long as I have. Probably about exactly as long as I have. We started working at JRI together back in the day. And
Not RIP, unfortunately.
Not RIP. They're still around and kicking. Where? I don't know, and I don't care. So all-
Balaclava or something.
they're out in the south in the southern suburbs. So
Yeah,
That's all.
I bought a few things from them before I knew what was really happening there, and
Yeah.
now I stay away from them.
Yeah. Hey, look, we could fill an entire podcast just me on my own telling everyone about the misconceptions and what's true and what's not.
We don't need a lawyer for
about
that sort of
JRI.
discussion, do we?
No, I used to work there. I know all the secrets. It's all good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, beyond that, I don't think there's anything. I think I've been successfully peer pressured into organising one for midwinter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to get my thinking hat on and figure
Yep.
something out for that. But it's always nice to have the sort of Alleycats come and get posted like sequentially. Like you don't have a couple posted at the same time because
Yes.
then it gets busy and you lose track of these sorts of things.
Although it is fun seeing that there's multiple on the horizon and you load up that events page and you're like, ooh,
Exactly.
there's a calendar.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah, it is kind of nice, but also like you have multiple events getting updated. And it's easy to lose track. I mean, I find it easy to lose track, but I'm not. Despite popular opinion, I'm not chronically online as much as I used to be, or as much as I appear. I'll say. I use Facebook for work, and beyond that, everything else is all Instagram, and I have the majority of my screen time is on one day a week where I schedule all my posts, and then they come out. But things have been busy, so I've neglected that. But anyway. Beyond that, that's pretty much what's happened and what is going to happen.
Can I add a query to that?
Yeah.
A few months ago, I heard talk of, well, for starters, I heard talk of the allocation of the first Monday of the month for a beginner-friendly, slower, shorter ride. But
This is
paired
correct.
with that,
Yeah.
there was some rumblings of the opposite end of the spectrum. Maybe
A fast ride.
yeah, designating another weekday as a ride for people to rock up and absolutely smash.
cane it. Yeah.
That's not my type of ride, I have to say.
No, it won't be everybody's.
Yeah, I kind of want to start that in the depths of winter though.
I agree.
Winter is where the body has the best performance.
Exactly.
I think
we are not all patches.
if it is,
Some of us need ventilation and cooling.
if it is going to happen and it's going to start, I've thought about it and like planned vaguely, but I feel like it'll probably be a winter thing to start with.
Okay, because I do have some ideas for if that gets off the ground.
Excellent.
Ideas for routes that will
Indeed.
prove particularly
Proof testing.
testing,
Hell yeah.
challenging,
I dig it.
that sort of thing.
If he has any sort of climbs, I'm out. No boulevards for me.
Oh no, there's worse than the boulevard.
Yeah, there's worse hills than the Boulevard.
Although I think some of the Monday night rides have tackled them before. I think the Gaffney Wall has been done
Gaffney
before.
Wall's been done a few times. Never the other way around. I kind of want to do it the other way around. Though.
Oh, that scares the bejesus out of me. All it takes is for the level crossing bars to go down.
That's true. But if you follow the road, yeah, maybe ways around it. Nah,
But
no,
no, I've done it the other way around on a road bike, and it is very fun.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fast Fridays or whatever I was going to call them is still a thing that's in on the back burner at the moment. When it comes to winter and when it gets a little quieter here in the shop, I'll start putting plans together for that.
Yeah.
I had a couple of, I guess, themes or topics of discussion, and the majority of them start with a story that you, Tom, told me about. It involves, I believe, the predecessor to your current rather fancy new cranks on your bike.
Oh my god, it's a really funny and sad story. So I saw Ramsay get on his bike. He put one, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but like you put one foot on your bike and then you start moving and you swing the other leg over. And I was like, oh cool, I want to do that. I tried to do that. I stopped midway through mounting the bike, and then I fell on top of it, and it turns out that my cranks were loose, which is
Square taper?
Yeah, it's a big no-no for square taper, and I landed with my full body weight onto my non-drive side crank arm, and then it completely ruined the taper. I thought everything was fine until I spun my cranks and it whacked into the chainstay, and I was like, I am completely fucked.
How's your chainstay?
It's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
no dents or anything?
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture what maneuver you were trying to do. Like, what was I doing?
It's really hard to explain.
I have something of an idea. Were you trying to... Was it mounting a bike or dismounting a bike?
Mounting a bike.
Mounting a bike. Okay. Was it from the front or from the back?
From the back.
From the back. Okay. Was it, say, a running jump onto the bike, similar to what the messengers in New York did?
Something like that.
Like a cyclocross mount.
Like a cyclocross mount. Yeah.
It wasn't a cyclocross mount.
Something equivalent to that. You were maybe like in motion. You were gonna like step onto the pedal and let it lift you up and hop on. Similar to how I hop on.
That's basically what I was trying to do.
Okay, cool.
My whole body weight went onto the bike. What happened was I went to try to do the mount, but I didn't have enough momentum to get going. So I just stopped and then fell sideways, completely just splat on top of my bike.
Yeah.
So
I feel that.
That's the story of how I destroyed my $300 track crank set because I tried to get on the bike.
That is a good.
That's
a good story.
That's
You're right.
upsetting.
That was worth the wait.
And the drive side isn't usable because the threads are almost completely stripped. Because I got the crank off, and there's about 2 threads left in there, and I'm like, if I put this crank back on, it is not coming back off again.
On the
upsetting.
the crank puller side of it, or the pedal?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's rough.
R.I.P. again.
R.I.P. That's it. We're paying respects to a lot of no longer usable things.
I'm back in business though because I have some Sagino Mighty cranks at the moment. They're old school road cranks, 151 BCD with a 45 tooth chainring.
You've got the full sheriff star going on.
And they look fantastic on the
They do look
Zero.
very good.
I've always wanted to do kind of the old style cranks on my bike, but I've never had a good enough excuse to do it because my Sagino 75 is already more than enough. But
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good chance to get something I actually wanted for the build.
Yeah, nice opportunity. Ever had anything like that happen, Ramsay? Any sort of...
I have had a similarly embarrassing crash at a standstill that did not damage my bike one bit.
Okay.
It instead damaged me.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago, I was getting my old road bike, which I still have actually. It's an old carbon KTM Strata from like late 2000s. KTM, they make push bikes.
They make push bikes as well as motorbikes.
One day I might bring it. It's not in the best nick, but it's a bit big for me, and it is still working.
Really?
It's got a hodgepodge of parts. It's got like Shimano 105 brakes, Ultegra. It's got a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
It's got a 1 TA. It's the small front chainring is a TA. The large front chainring is a rotor, and that's going to come into play in the story.
Okay.
Essentially, I took it out of the garage from a place I was living at in Toorak, this old townhouse built in like the early 20th century.
Nice.
The garage is this old brick building with a wooden garage door that kind of opens by angling up. It's just a big flat panel that you pull from the bottom and you open up with a spring assist.
Love it. Okay.
Takes quite a bit of oomph you got to reach up, you got to close it. So what I did was I laid my bike down on the ground, turned around, closed the garage door, turned back around to go pick up my bike.
Yep.
The garage was paved, and because the landlords weren't the best at maintenance,
as they all are.
Story of so many people's lives, yeah.
Fuck landlords, but that's a different story.
There could be a whole other podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Why we all hate landlords.
There probably already is, but I'm not going to step on any toes there.
No. Well, there were these big pavers that were probably, I want to say like 70 centimetres squared.
Solid.
Nearly a metre squared. And some of them rocked, some of them were sitting higher than others. And as I turned back around to pick up my bike, I trip.
Oh, no.
I then correct, but my ankle has to shoot it was my right leg.
Checking
shot
for
forward. My chain had been left on the small chain ring. And where does my ankle find home?
No.
Straight into the teeth of the 53 tooth rotor chain ring. And I was wearing socks.
Yep.
And probably because of the adrenaline, I didn't immediately bleed.
Yeah.
So I just hopped on my bike and kept riding to work. I was working at a
damn.
cafe at the time. And then halfway through the day, maybe a couple of hours into the shift, I feel my socks a bit wet, and I look down, and it's
So-
red with blood. So
Yeah.
I tell my coworker, I'm like, I need to go look at my foot. And I look, and it's just gushing blood. I can see not bone, but I can see like
See, like sinew.
I can see like the sinews and cartilage of my ankle through this gash. That you can still see the scar. It was probably like a 3 centimeter long deep cut.
Damn.
So I ended up having to leave work early, and I went to get some stitches at a medical centre. And then I was very, very careful getting my bike in and out of the garage
That's
ever since
bad.
then.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Damn.
So thankfully, bike wasn't damaged, but I certainly was. Look, moral of the story, Tom, is that kind of silly bullshit can happen anytime. And if it makes you feel any better, well, I didn't lose a set of Sagino 75s. I probably lost their value in wages lost and the medical centre fee, because I had to go to a private one,
Definitely.
because that was the closest one.
Decent summarized moral of the story. Big ring is the only ring. That's-
Big ring is the only ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Also,
leave it on the small ring, or just go one by.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, another moral of the story is tighten your square taper cranks.
That's good,
Because-
strong advice.
While that was a really dumb crash and it was a bit embarrassing, if I'd tightened my non-drive side, it would not have happened.
Would never have happened in the first place.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
That was when, I did not pay attention to my crankset or my bottom bracket for ages. And after I wrecked my non-drive side is when I found out my BB was completely loose. And both of my crank bolts were like hand tied.
Damn.
Oh,
That's rough.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that Sagino crank might have been already damaged from me going off curbs and stuff when it was loose.
It's possible.
It's possible.
I'm not gonna rule anything out. But it's
it's-
one of those things.
I mean, I've got new cranks on there at the moment, and I prefer them over the Sagino 75. So it's
that's the take home.
we're back. A positive did come out of it.
Yes.
Exactly.
It gave me an excuse to get some nice Sagino cranks,
Every cloud. as
old
they say.
school cranks.
After you lost some.
After you lost
Suzuki.
some nice Sagino cranks.
I could have used them on a future NJS build, but yeah, that's
It's
Yeah.
another dream now. That's all right.
I would add on to your take-home message and just say, regularly get your bike serviced. Either do it yourself or
Yeah.
find somebody professional to do it.
I'm a big advocate.
We're sitting
of
with a certain somebody who can do that.
yeah.
Because just so many little moving parts that you need to make sure are torqued to spec.
Yeah, definitely. Because
That's
I
it.
do not have a single seal bearing on my bike at the moment, so I have to get that serviced.
I
My
remember.
wheel set's due for a service because I've been the wheels I'm running at the moment were from my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, he just had some track wheels lying around. He just gave them to me. They are Sunshine Pro track hubs laced to First Zenith rims. Yeah, it's a very nice wheel set that I've been running for ages. But yeah, they're old school loose ball track hubs.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
they haven't been serviced in a while, so they're probably due for a service. But they're still very smooth.
Yeah, they are decent. I've had multiple stories. Again, we could fill another episode of like incidents that I've had, but I can relate to both of your circumstances.
In the short time that I have known you, I've heard of a multitude of
heard stories,
silly
yes.
crashes that
Silly
you've been
things that
involved
have
in.
left me worse for wear. Yes.
Not necessarily your fault.
No,
In
no,
fact,
absolutely
one of
not.
them that I can think of very much not your fault.
Yes, indeed. We are rocketing our way through our time, which is good. We are going to break this episode up into a couple of half episodes. We'll call this part 1.
Thank you for listening to that first half of an episode of Prime Ratio. If you ride bikes and you want to meet other people who also ride bikes, come and ride bikes with us. We run a weekly group ride on Monday nights, meeting up at Melbourne Museum at 6 p.m, rolling out at 7. We accept all abilities, all bikes, all styles of riding.
And we'd love to have you. The first Monday of every month, which just so happens to be tomorrow, is a beginner-friendly ride. So if you've never given it a go, you want to try something new, meet some new people, discover some new loops around town, come on through. We'd love to see you. Beyond that, this has been Prime Ratio. I've been Felix in the future, but feel free to send through any hot takes, queries, questions, stories, all the fun stuff to ridebikesandbemerry@gmail.com, or you can DM us at Melbourne Alleycat, that's MELBURN Alleycat, on Instagram. Thank you, Ride Bikes, be merry, and catch you soon.